seen the one that was 25, the one that
What?
was 25 pages. I
Yeah.
printed, yeah, but one of them I couldn't print. I did the 25-page one, but then there was another one.
Oh, you did the 25?
Yeah, I did. But I
That's
didn't do, the other one wouldn't print. There was
Which one?
another one. I don't know, there was another one.
First one? All right, we're gonna do the 25.
Didn't print.
Which one?
The one that you sent as a link, as a OneDrive or something?
I got
that,
it.
One,
Yeah.
print it.
Once you open the OneDrive.
I sent it as a,
Okay, I sent it from my phone, like I directly.
The one that you sent on OneDrive, that's the Mesilat Yesharim with all the different Roman numerals, like the different
Yeah,
things.
so that
everything
didn't
going through. I end up putting it, I copy it, I put it into a document, I format it, and then I'm able to print it.
all right, so I'm gonna make it easier for everybody. The problem with all of this is I am completely inept with this stuff, so I'm going to impose that on all of you because I don't know what I'm doing with it, but so my apologies.
Which one was easy to do.
Oh, yeah, good, good,
The other
good.
one I couldn't do. I copied it, I pasted, I couldn't do it.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna learn several terms. I think we're recording. Let me just double check. Oh, yes. Okay. We're gonna learn several terms. These terms are not, they're not necessarily in chapter 1, 2, or 3, although they are, and they'll be referenced throughout. That paper? Okay, beautiful. Okay. So we have the, Sarah, you're coming on again. Are you
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
get?
I know. I'm sorry. My phone, I'll shut it off.
Okay,
Using my
great.
phone. Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, great. Okay, so let's look at the term, the first term, yeah? So I'm going to give you the Hebrew and English explanation of the term chacham. And again, these are life building block terms. These are not exclusive to the Mesilat Yesharim, okay? What they are is comprehensive in this overall effort to master Mesilat Yesharim and the other pieces that come with it. And as this goes on, what I'm finding is the compilation and the integration of the other pieces becomes more and more essential and exciting to me. Okay, so we're going to go broader. Beautiful. Okay. Hachacham yodea harbe al harbe devarim shonim umiyuchadim. What does that mean? Chacham yodea harbe al harbe devarim shonim umiyuchadim.
Things.
Beautiful. So the Chacham knows a lot of things.
Right.
Things that are shoneh. What does shoneh mean?
Changing all the time, different.
Different and unrelated, miyuchad, unrelated one to the other. So the Chacham is the person who knows a lot about a lot, and it's not a lot about a lot in area X, it's a lot about a lot, period, which would include things that are completely seemingly unrelated. Okay, great. V'yesh lo ola, he or she has the ometz, has the self-confidence, the confidence in his or her knowledge, v'hasechel, and the intellect, livnot echad al hasheni, to build one on top of the other. So you take something from the creative arts, you take something from Torah, something from parenting, and you put them together. Okay, we all do this all day long, right? Everybody's doing it, but we want to become, we want to get bitten by this perspective of chokhmah, so that it becomes a driving component of our lives. Okay, so it's to learn a lot about a lot that's unrelated, and then to have the confidence to integrate one with the other, to distill one with the other, meaning these subtle distinctions to distill. So I want to go like this. I want to go chop, 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 chop across a broad spectrum, right? I want to mend them. I want to blend them. Okay. Hi, Shannon. Good morning. I want to have a broad spectrum of areas. I want to be able to blend them because of my confidence in my knowledge of each area. I want to feel confident to say that, you know what, this insight in Torah can relate to wine. What do you mean? Is there any direct correlation? No, it's mine. Correlation is mine. That's where you want to be as a chacham. I don't need Mr. Smith or Mr. Jones to tell me, or Rabbi X or whoever Y, to tell me that I can put these ideas together. I'm going to do it. Okay? That's chokhmah. And then, so I go broad this way, and then I distill, meaning because I have the confidence to connect A, D, and J into whatever, to number one. Now I go ahead and I take this and I'll distill down other subtleties from it, and then I'll advise and guide with it. That's the chacham. So when we reference to someone as a chacham, we have to know what we're saying, but more importantly, this is a bar for us. Nobody is precluded from this. Nobody is shut out of this opportunity. And what we need to be doing is we need to respect the concept of mumche, of an expert. You can be an expert in X. I'm an expert in whatever it is, my career or my this or my that, or even my Torah. You could be an expert in that. But to be a chacham is a different kind of rigor, a different confidence, a different openness. And the people who really built in this life, particularly in the Jewish world, but certainly in general, are those people.
They're integrating their knowledge.
They're integrating their knowledge. They're amassing knowledge constantly. They're integrating. So it's a dynamic library. It's a dynamic personality. Okay, good. Let's view the psukim and feel free to, write over in English. And again, my apologies. We're going to integrate this in a more appropriate way with the English and whatever to the core document. But the core document is going to change umpteen times anyway. So whatever. Recycle the paper. Chacham ohev ben omanuto. What does that mean? This is a quote brought from Bereshit Rabbah, from one of the Perushim on the book of Bereshit. Chacham ohev ben emunato. So omanuto. So an omanut, what?
It doesn't have a noon. It says
That's a noon. It's not a great looking noon, but it's a noon. It's a skinny one.
No, we don't have that.
You don't have.
done.
Ours is a little different because even when you're
But it's
reading on.
okay. We'll change it.
Okay. So there's a typo. It's omanuto. Aleph vav mem nun vav taf vav. Omanut is his craftsmanship. So the chacham loves his craft. The chacham is someone who loves his craft. Okay. And he loves what comes from his craftsmanship. Chacham adif minavi. What does that mean? In terms of the Jewish people and leadership and Torah learning, what does that mean? The Chacham, you have that?
Yeah.
Is preferred from the Navi. Why is a Chacham preferred from a Navi? Why can a Chacham mechadesh law and Jewish law and practice, and the Navi cannot?
He has original insights.
Beautiful. Yeah, because he's building. He's got the insights. He's got the breadth of knowledge. So one thing, a Navi, isn't a Navi getting the word from God himself? Yes.
Yeah, but he's not putting it together himself.
Beautiful. Excellent. So if we're looking at the Chacham and the Navi, you're going to go with the Chacham because the Chacham is the person with whom you can integrate, you can discuss, you can develop. Okay? Good. Chokhmat Adam Ta'ir Panav. The chokhmah of a person will cast a glow on his face or hers. What does that mean? Chokhmat Adam Ta'ir Panav. Mean what?
Like with Moshe,
Yeah, exactly. Like Moshe. So what does it mean for us? Good. Practical terms. The chokhmah of a person will ta'ir, will put light, brighten.
Like enlighten.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Why does that happen?
Radiate.
Beautiful. Radiate. Excellent, Myrna. Excellent. Why? Why?
Maybe because he's at peace and he's, more
even
relaxed.
Good, Sarah, but even more than that. Come on.
He's happy.
Huh?
He's emulating.
Oh, yeah. Finally. So I wasn't talking to myself for
You were
a
not.
month and a half. Okay, good. We are making, yeah.
Someone else is filling a piece, so.
Yeah. And we have something. If Hakadosh Baruch Hu is essence, and again, we're using borrowed terms, but if God's essence is yeda, is knowledge, and I have a piece of that in me, and I'm accessing it, I'm going to radiate. You radiate as a result of accessing, remember, as we learned that the knowledge that's inside you. So when you open it up, when you unlock it, and it sort of seeps to the top, it creates a glow about the person. We call that chen. We call that or, right? Like we learned in Bereshit.
Yes.
The or is not physical light, it's knowledge. So the more a person learns, i.e., the more a person uses books as that to open and reveal the Torah that he has and the knowledge that he has inside of him or her, that creates a glow, a charisma, a magnetism about the person.
Is that chen? Is that, this
Yes,
brings upon
beautiful.
that? Okay.
Yes, good.
Would you,
Ma, chen, or, line them up. Good.
would you say like Hashem Shekhinah
Oh.
is going,
Use the terms. Use the terms. It's great. Yeah.
no, I was gonna say, is it as if Hashem Shekhinah is going through you?
And more than that, beautiful, more than that. The piece of the neshama, which is in me, which is a permanently parked piece of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is defined as knowledge and intellect, is now given an outlet, is now accessed. And that access allows the neshama to shine through the goof, to shine through the body. And you see it in people, and you'll see it more. As you build more, you'll see it more. You'll see it in yourselves, and you see it in other people. It's chen. Excellent. Okay. Chacham Omer, and this is the beauty. Chacham Omer, the Chacham says, Hareni melamed shnei halachot hayom u'shnei lemachar ad she'ani lomda kula. What does that mean in English? This is from the Midrash on Shir HaShirim. What does that mean in English?
I'll learn 2 halachot today and 2 tomorrow until I finish learning all of them.
Meaning what? Great.
Meaning it's a process. It takes.
Yeah. And baby steps are great.
Mhm.
Baby steps work. I'm going to learn 2 halachot. What is 2 halachot? 2 halachot is nothing. What do you mean nothing? 2 halachot. At the end of the week, you got 14 halachot. It's spectacular. It's that 4%, the 4% that we touched on that recording. 4%. If you spend 4% of your day, an hour a day learning, at the end of what we say, 10 years, it's 250,000 minutes of Torah. It's 25,000 minutes of Torah in a year. So that is the perspective of the Chacham. The Chacham doesn't say, how am I going to get through this? He says, fine, chipping away. Good. Rak am Chacham v'navon hagoy hagadol.
Wait.
I skipped.
Lev kol Chacham.
I skipped one. Ubelev kol Chacham lev natati chokhmah. What does this mean? Let's learn this together years ago. Ubelev. It's good that you caught this because this is extremely important. Ubelev kol Chacham lev natati chokhmah. So now we're in the parshiot of the Mishkan, and this pasuk or portion of the pasuk is brought from that, and it's repeated 20 some odd times in one version or another. These words are repeated 20 plus times in one version or another. So let's see what it means. ubelev, in the heart. But what are we talking about here? We're talking about the sechvi, which is the place of emotional intelligence. When we say lev, this is also very important to own this terminology. When you say lev, heart, in the context of chokhmah, we're not talking about the physical thing. We're talking about my emotional intelligence. Okay, what's the difference between emotional intelligence and regular, so to speak, intelligence? What's the difference?
One, you're going with emotions and the other one, you're going with facts.
No, I'm going, no, good. No, emotional intelligence.
It's the soft skills, no?
No, good, beautiful. It's not the soft skills. Talk to me. When we talk about the sechvi, right, which is my heart, so to speak, when we use the term sechvi or lev, sechvi, shin, chaf, vav, yod, when we use that term or the term heart in reference to knowledge, we're talking about the place in us where emotion and intellect meet. That's what we're talking about, okay?
Example would be?
The example is how I use it. In other words, the example is chokhmah, because I can't apply chokhmah in a vacuum. I have to think about who am I talking to, what are the circumstances, what are the emotional needs here.
It's the application.
No, it's the integration of emotion, soft skills, yearning, aspiration, hope, doubt, fear, confidence, excitement, ambition, imagination.
To my Zoom.
You're telling us that
I'm
we have.
talking to my telephone.
What? What'd you say?
I was saying,
Back
but
to us,
but now I'm getting confused. I mean, obviously, I'm not, it's,
Yeah.
it's a silly question, but you're telling us to try to not to use too much emotion when making decisions. So
No, I'm telling, when did I tell you no emotion?
with yourself,
No,
Oh, when you're introspecting.
yeah.
right?
When it comes to introspection, zero.
So Seth, these really for
Zero
outward.
what?
It is when it relates to chokhmah. When I'm ready to, let's take this as an example, right? Person wants to teach something, yeah? A person wants to teach something. It can't come from his head. It can't. It would be brash and cold. It would be academic.
So it's the application, it's the output of it.
It's the output of
the
it.
way that you
Use it.
do it,
Super.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Home run.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was waiting for something tangible, but that's not what I'm getting. It's not that.
It-
If you're taking your intelligence, then it's how you use it and put it into the
Filtering it,
world
like-
and relate it to people.
Exactly. That's it. Okay, very good. That's it. It's I'm taking my intelligence, I'm integrating the human element of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm integrating the human element. I'm using the word emotion. I'm sorry to use it, but you got to use it, right? I'm integrating the human element. Who am I talking to? What are that person's needs? How is it better than that? Before drop what that person cancel the recording. Who am I talking to? How do I best communicate that to this person? So I could want to teach that this is a plug, right? But I'm teaching it to someone who doesn't know anything about electricity. So I could throw this plug in his face. And by the way, this is done all the time. I could throw the plug in his face and explain the plug. But I didn't explain the birth and the origins of electricity or power or need, communication. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Yeah, great. So
Oh, wait, that's what you're talking about? Or you're talking about like everybody needs a different kind of communication? So maybe somebody is slow or somebody is quicker or.
listen, the takeaway might be that you have to say it to different people differently, which is true. There's no
Right.
question it's true.
You have to say different things.
There's no question it's true. You know, this perspective we call emotional intelligence in English. There was a bombshell on this 20 some odd years ago in the academic world, because what they found was that without the human consideration, they got nothing. So you have all these academics who are teaching for decades, and they saw that they did nothing to build people. They didn't build people. They dumped information on them. And as soon as these people walked out the door, a lot of that information was gone because they didn't engage the person. They didn't build, they didn't mold the person. They didn't have the knowledge and whatever.
Human component.
Okay, so we have this term mentioned many, many, many times in the context of what? In the context of connecting the absolute intelligence with us. Great, it's gorgeous, right? Why doesn't Hashem use this terminology when he gives us the 10 commandments? Why not? He's not using them there. He's using them when we moved beyond the 10 commandments. We're way beyond that now. Now we're ready to build a relationship with knowledge. 10 commandments, okay, here's 10 things. I'm dropping them on you. Okay, thank you. I got them. Now what? I don't have a relationship here. I don't know how to build anything.
Maybe that's why they sinned.
Absolutely why. Absolutely
But
why.
when does God introduce this chokhmah?
Now, in Parashiot Terumah, Tetzaveh, right? So you have, good. You have B'Shalach, Yitro, where we get 10 commandments, Mishpatim, huge breadth of halachot. Now we move into the concept of integrating all of this, creating a relationship to all of it with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because otherwise it's cold and it's fragmented, and I don't know what to do with it. What do you want me to do?
What's happening in the parashah that he's giving you? Because I don't know what that
We're describing the kelim of the Mishkan, the kelim, the utensils of the tabernacle, and very good. Yeah, I should have given you more of that.
Telling us how to build.
How to build it,
Right,
exactly.
to us
So
now.
that,
So now
beautiful.
this time we're doing something for him physically.
exactly. Now we're stepping up, and what we're doing is we're stepping up in a relationship. We're taking knowledge that's cold is cold, and that's what it's been to date, right? To your points, that's what it's been. Now it becomes a knowledge based in relationship, which becomes emotionally intelligent.
It's more than that, because he's meeting the people on their terms in the physical world.
Absolutely right. That's correct. That's correct. He's meeting the people on our terms.
Really are.
Beautiful. And then he goes one step further. He says, in the heart, meaning the emotional intelligence, again, not the emotion alone, in the heart, in the place of emotional intelligence of everyone who has intelligence, I will give intelligence. I will give chokhmah. What does that mean? This is one of the most exciting
So if
psukim
you
in the
have
whole Torah.
emotional intelligence, you'll have
If
regular
the
intelligence?
chacham, the person who works to be a chacham, right, will get extra
What you're
chokhmah.
saying with the leaning in, with Rambam, like.
Right, good. It's along those lines. Excellent. Let's take it along those lines and build it here. The person who's leaning in a certain direction, right, who's acclimating his life in a certain way, certain things will come his way.
All
But-
right, just
That way.
what's
Beautiful.
us?
Yeah, you guys good? Now we're going, now in terms of chokhmah, specifically, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says as follows. If the person, let's say to the piece we said a few minutes ago, is learning the 2 halachot a day. Let's, for example, a person is learning 2 halachot a day, right? So at the end of,
Okay.
let's say a week, at the end of the week, the person will have 14 halachot, but more than that, the person would have 14 halachot, and if he or she is a chacham, meaning they have courage, they're willing to work the ideas, like here, we will not go page by page in this Mesilat Yesharim. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too empty for me. As beautiful as the work as it is, I can't do it. I need for it to be much more holistic. I need it to be compartmentalized. I can't do it otherwise, right? So if a person is willing to do that, where you go piece by piece by piece to consolidate, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu promise? He
He's gonna help you chokhmah. He's gonna give you chokhmah.
how are they going to help it, Sarah?
How is he gonna help it? He's going to help you. He's going to
How?
use
Look
it
at the
with
word.
chokhmah. With chokhmah, he's gonna give you more knowledge.
Excellent. He's going to give you more knowledge. So 1 second. 2 + 2 + 2 + 2 is equal to 14. How do I now understand something 16? How do I understand that? I only worked on 14, but it gets better.
Because he lifts you, he brings
He,
you up.
and he gives you more. He gives you more. He
But is
gives
he
you more.
giving, or really giving himself?
No, but he actually is
Meaning
giving
what
it to
you're
you.
learning also
Gives
that-
it to you. I read that.
It's true. That's happening, but there's something more happening, and you'll see it. You'll all see
I
it.
think
So Kabbalistic,
Yeah.
he opens your mind.
He opens your mind, Ellen, and further, I want you to go further with this thing. He is giving you more. He's literally giving you more. If you learned this much, he's giving you an extra piece. And you're gonna open your eyes sometimes and say, wait a minute, I didn't learn that. That's the bonus. That's the earned bonus.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe if you do it like those 2 halachot a day, like you were saying, he'll give you the chokhmah to tie it all together and be able to build and do what you need to, one from the other.
Excellent. So I want to take your point. I want to take your point. If you learn 14, so to speak, you'll get 15 and 16. Even though you didn't open that page of the book, you're going to get it. But to Sarah's point, you're also going to get the ability to learn the 14 more difficult ones next time. Now, you earn some of that by training your mind on the first 14, but some of it is unearned. It's a pure bonus. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes the commitment, yeah?
I was gonna say, these are like the ideas that happen in the head in the middle of the night,
Nah.
whatever, like they just.
And you can
that's where
also,
they from.
100%, and you can also see it, you're going to see it in the book, you can say, wait a second, how did I get that? Where did that come from? No, you're going to see it where you have more and you have harder.
Is this, I'm just guessing, like how we said in the beginning, how we know everything. Is
No.
that this when you read something like, oh.
No, this is extra. This is total extra.
Is this Teiro or Beracha or no?
Huh?
Is this Teiro or Beracha?
This is beautiful, beautiful. You see, isn't that great? Isn't that great? What would the perot be and what would the beracha be?
Teiro would be like the.
By the way, you just
The
connected.
tools, the
And-
tools.
You just did it.
What would be the perot and what would be the
actual result of learning it?
of your work? The result of your work would be the perot, the fruits of your labor, beautiful. And the beracha is, the beracha is the extra. Perfect. Perfect. Great. Good. Okay. Beautiful. Good. I'm glad.
You're saying really Teiro is intangible also and Beracha too, so this is not so far-fetched.
Perot is why is it intangible? If I learn 2 halachot a day, I should know 14.
But it's knowledge. Meaning
It can be
sometimes-
for anything. If I dig 2 holes a day, I'll have 14 at the end of, if I dug, 7 days, whatever.
The Teiro doesn't necessarily have to be something physical.
No, very good. No, perot does not have to be physical. No, it's anything. I reap what I sow. I worked on something, it yields X. Now, when won't it yield? As we said, if the perot that you're looking for, you are not on the level that God wants you to be. So you'll bang your head against the wall, and you work and you work and you work. Where's the perot? Not coming. But if it's something where God sees you growing and building, so he grants the perot, right? Under the natural order of things. He doesn't interrupt the natural order to block our perot, and he puts beracha on top of it. 1 + 1 = 3.
So wait, can you translate this like right then? Could you just translate
Which one?
like one line? Ubalev kol chacham, what we're
In
saying,
the
like,
heart of everyone who has chokhmah, let's call it wisdom, in his heart, I will give wisdom. So in other words, you got to have it. You got to have some of it. You have to have unlocked some of it. Yeah, he's starting us with the reservoir of it, but we have to work to have opened that up and access some of it. Good.
And you have to practice it. You have to really practice it and make it part of your life.
Excellent. That's a very important point. So to Sarah's point, and it's really validated by modern science, that if a person, we have the commandment to learn Torah every day, and men and women should be learning Torah every day. The ideal system is what I learn on Thursday, I review on Friday, right? And do a little more. That's the ideal system. Because what does that do? And I read this once in a book on brain function and so on. So I know very, very little about it, but it seems that it takes what's in short-term memory and it commits it to long-term memory. seems to be the case. So that would mean that this age-old method, 3,500-year-old method, Jewish method of Hatmada, of the Higita Bo Yomam V'Layla that I'm going to be learning every single day, has a very, not only does it have a perspective vis-a-vis my relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but it has a very practical perspective in terms of me owning the content. Okay, so yeah, are we explaining the pasuk clearly and in terms of the literal translation as well is good? Yes, okay, super. All right, big one. That's a big one. That's maybe a big one.
Encouraging.
Well,
It's
it's
encouraging.
super,
it's
yeah.
nice.
And you'll see it. Oh, I wanted to mention one other thing. Well, the 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which should equal 14, will equal 16, so to speak. But but there's another element. If your mind then becomes sharper. In other words, I'm not only growing, let's say, horizontally by amassing kamut, quantity, I'm going to make my mind sharper so that the next round or 2 rounds later, the knowledge I soak in is more complex.
So that's not from God, that's just you being sharper.
That's both.
Both.
That you get
Still
the
both.
same thing.
Still
It's
both.
part of your perot and it's part of your beracha. It's both because God will also put that on. That's part of chokhmah. So
Right.
person will grow in amassing more, knowing more, and his mind or hers at the same time getting to a level where they can amass more complex ideas.
Yep.
Sharper, you learn and you become sharper. It's not, what can it be that just, it's not about you, like you.
It is.
It's all Hashem, all
No,
Perot, or
no,
just
no,
you
no.
doing something that.
Perot is all you, by the way. Perot, there's no Hashem in Perot.
Right, because meaning if you
Right.
did something and you.
Beautiful. So when I'm getting sharper, like when I'm amassing knowledge, it's overwhelmingly the individual. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is topping it off.
Okay.
It's the bonus. It's not the salary, right? It's the bonus.
Okay.
Great. But the nice thing is to know this. The remarkable thing is just HaKadosh Baruch Hu's commitment to everybody. And then it's very exciting when you see it, to look for it, because you'll see it.
But which really boils down to that people can't get smarter or get, if they don't study Torah, like it sounds like Torah is.
They get dumber. No, they will get absolutely dumber. This is very, very important. By the way, again, not that we need modern science to validate anything we do or believe, but it's validated here as well. If you don't grow intellectually, you recede. So everybody should have his face in a book every day, because the same way if you're not going to the gym, the havdil, right? If a person is not growing, they're shrinking. If a person is not becoming more, there is no neutral as it relates to the intellect, as far as we understand it, right? Hi, Carol.
Hi,
There is-
Ricky, how are you?
Good. There is no neutral, no neutral. So if I'm not moving forward, because we're all moving forward, but if a person isn't moving forward, they're moving back. If a person isn't committed, that's why even 10 minutes a day is a game changer in a person's life, because it means I tapped into that intellectual, vibrant place inside of me. I teased it, I inspired it, and I grew it. And that's extremely important, extremely. And that's why we say we steal time for Torah. Steal time. Yeah, on your way. I told you the story with the guy in the, so I lost my, oh no, I didn't lose it. I dropped my phone into a sink. It got wet. And then in my fantastic, because I'm very savvy when it comes to technology, I plugged it in. So whatever chance it had with survival, I destroyed it. Okay. Yeah. I never had the iCloud thing hooked up. So all this information was gone. I spoke to one of my Hebrutot. He says, there's this young whiz kid in the Borough Park. I told you the story. So one whiz kid in Borough Park. I went there and he ended up fixing it for me, some great thing. And I took a flip phone for a couple of days, which was a disaster. That's the different thing. I couldn't possibly live like that. But while I'm standing in the store, I walk into the store. A guy walks in, firm guy walks in, and this young man tells him 10 minutes. I need 10 minutes. Opens up his bag. He pulls out his starts climbing. I said, what am I in this life? I said, what am I? What am I in this life? Look at this guy. He's right. He's totally right. So the point being, we say you steal time for Torah. You know, you're waiting for this, you're doing that. That's how we do it. So there is no neutral. There's forward, right, no neutral, and we want to be forward, moving, growing. And even a little bit is a lot.
So now you know how to fix phones?
I know how to fix phones. Yeah. I walk around with a book all over the place. What's questions so far? We're okay. Rak'am chacham v'navon hagoy hagadol hazeh. This nation, the Jewish people, are a nation that is chacham and navon. This great people are people that has chokhmah and binah. Now we're going to talk about binah in depth, but what does the term binah mean for our purposes? Now we're going to go into it in depth next. Yes, but tell me what chokhmah binah means very, very carefully. It is understanding, but go a little, work it a little further. Binah, folks, binah is when, okay, now the chokhmah is this way, right? Chop, 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 going this way, broad. Binah is to discern, to identify the very subtle differences between overwhelmingly similar things. Yeah, so I have all this up here as chokhmah. Great. Drop down. Yeah, beautiful. But the subtleties. Yeah. So that's a different skill set. And that's a skill set that we want as well.
Like what?
Huh?
Like what?
Like what? Like you hear the I'll give you an example. Yeah, we have terms in the Torah, simcha and sason. Right? What do they both mean? Happiness. I mean happy, right? Or I'll give you a better one. We'll come back some kinds. We have vayomer and vaydaber, right? We said vayomer means direct. Vaydaber means expansive, right? We said vayugad, which we didn't really get to yet. We'll get to it soon. In Bereshit, vayugad means to editorialize, right? So all these are terms related to communication, but they're different. One person reads vayomer, vaydaber, vayugad has the same thing. He said. The binah means I got it subtly draw it out. Now, sason and simcha, for example, they both are happiness. Simcha is a more private, internal, self-focused sense of happiness, right? And sason is more public, is more, dancing at a party.
Isn't that song strong?
It could be a shira song, but yes, it could bring with it. Yes. All right. So there's more subtle things in this, but these are just what comes to
You
mind.
need a lot of emotional intelligence too, right?
Exactly. Without the emotional intelligence, game over.
For this one especially.
Yeah, for this one especially. That's right. Excellent. This is one of the most beautiful. Chacham be'enav ish ashir. What does that mean? A man who's smart in his or her eyes, they just don't need anything else because there's nothing better. Because you're just having a great time with God in His world, and it doesn't get better. That person, as you said, Shirley, they have everything. They're not chasing, they're not pining, they're not. And by the way,
My brother should rest in peace.
huh?
My brother, he should rest in peace, was always that kind of a person. And I used to look at him and thought, he's divorced. He doesn't live with his children, his children are married. But the guy has so much faith and so much wisdom and so
Right.
much
Beautiful.
contentment. He was really the wisest of all of us.
Yeah. That's what Chokhmah brings. That's what Chokhmah brings. It brings a level of happiness that you can't really get anywhere else.
Mhm.
And those are the people who are having a great time.
Mhm.
Good. Last one in Chokhmah. Ata yireh paro ish navon v'chacham yishiteu al eretz Mitzrayim en navon v'chacham kamocha. When Yosef HaTzadik was identified to become the viceroy of Egypt, there were three elements that Paro identified. Two of them I quoted here, but there's one more which we'll talk about. He identified Yosef being Chacham. He identified him being Navon with Binah, i.e., to discern those subtle distinctions between Obi-Wan and Anakin. And that's why he chose him. But it's also written in the Pasuk, which I didn't put here, that he said he has Ruach Elokim. The Ruach Elokim is an extra sort of add-on that may or may not come with Chokhmah and Binah. It comes with them, but it could come exclusive of them. And this is just to stir it, just a sort of raw and limited prophetic sense that some people have. So you could call it Ruach HaKodesh, could call it Ruach Elohim, but it's exclusive of Chokhmah and Binah, and it enables a certain level of awareness and
That's
grasping.
like some rabbis have it,
Yeah, that's right.
and some others don't have it as much.
Right, and some don't have it at all. Great. Okay, so thoughts, questions?
Did Paro say this because of the way Yosef interpreted the dreams? Like
He did, and that's why it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't, that Paro would see this in Yosef based on how he interpreted the dream. What? How?
Right. So
So-
he did a good job.
Well,
He was able to infer a lot of things from
It was, but it's important to really look at that whole thing carefully.
Well, the fact that Paro even knew what Navon HaChacham was,
Right.
to understand it, to tell
Yeah.
him that he has it.
It's really a question of who's really doing the talking,
Right.
or who's doing the talking here. Is Paro really getting it? Is he think he's getting it? Is it Torah? God, we have to look at it, but know that what Paro saw in Yosef and the interpretation that Yosef gave for the dreams don't necessarily line up. He saw
I have, my day work is,
he saw a lot more than
on Tuesday.
he saw a lot more than Yosef showed.
So you can Hashem person.
So that's the question. What was really going on there? Yeah. But yes,
Rabbi
Yeah.
Ricky, I feel like when we said Hacham be'enav ish ashir, it just doesn't get better. I feel like it's a real, I know we all know that materialistic things don't, they count for certain things, but that's not what's going to make you better. It's really the satisfaction of your nefesh that's being followed with Hashem.
of your neshama and nefesh.
Nefesh. Oh yeah, nefesh and neshama are the same thing.
We're going to learn next week, God willing, next week or hopefully next week, we're going to learn the difference between the Shama and Nefesh from the Pasuk in the second chapter of Bereshit. But this is the satisfying of your Neshama and your Nefesh, but it's really
using the materials of the world, but really being connected is
That's
the whole.
it's all about being connected. And the ease of connecting is the point. It's so easy. Open the book, just open the book. Have the paper in front of you, have the pencil in hand. That's how you connect. You don't connect when somebody is downloading information. You connect when you're building it. That's how you do it. It's a different level. Great. What else? Chacham, what do you got?
Okay.
All right.
Hachama.
Serene?
No, I'm just looking at the list of Da'at. I'm curious what the difference of Da'at is from Binah and Chokhmah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So you want to talk about that because we're going to get to it. Okay, so, okay, let's do a few in Binah, and then we'll get to Dad. Okay, Binah, Navon, Binah. Binah is a capacity to tease out the subtle differences between two overwhelmingly similar things. Again, apologies for how the information was sent. It will be cleaned up and sent better, but it's exactly as we described it. And what is the time when we recount these perspectives on and again every morning when we say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Hanoten L'Sechvi Binah Lahavchin Ben Yom Uben Laila. You give my Sechvi, which is the place of my emotional intelligence, the Binah, the ability to subtly distinguish, see the subtle distinctions between night and day. Now, are night and day subtly distinct, or are they overtly distinct? Overtly distinct. So what are we talking about here?
Didn't we say it wasn't night? Oh, maybe that was light and dark.
No, it's not night and day per se. What is it?
Right and wrong, intelligence, not.
Yeah. It's the shady stuff. It's the gray stuff.
Gray area, yeah.
It's the gray stuff. So where do I make the biggest inroad? How do I distinguish the gray stuff? How do I lean more appropriately, find myself more clearly and stuff like that? How do I do it? Right? With my emotional intelligence, utilizing my chokhmah and my binah. And that's,
So,
yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying,
it's discernment, great word. Yes. An hour and a half later. Yes, I got it. That's very good. So keep doing that. That's very good. Yeah.
no, I feel like, like the other day I was watching the sunset. So is it night or is it day yet? Once the sun set and the sky was still illuminated, you really have to know the difference between night and day. What is the difference between night and day?
Beautiful, perfect. And this is knowing it on in an intellectual realm, in an emotional realm. It's sometimes it's it's hard to distinguish. It's hard to distinguish. But God is noten the sechvi binah. Kadosh Baruch Hu is constantly helping in this respect. Okay, let's do a few more, and we'll end for the day. I'm going to skip the next one. Binah veTorah natan hakadosh Baruch Hu beisha yoter mi beish.
Where is that?
Oh, it's
wait.
the second one on the next page. So Binah Yetera, an extra capacity to discern the subtle distinctions between things, was given to women more than men. That's a fact, which means what?
We have a good job.
Which means, that's right, that ladies have a big job, which means that men should look to ladies for that. And the women have that capacity. That's given to them by God. It's theirs forever. So there's inherently, unconditionally, a greater capacity within a lady to see the nuanced distinctions than within a man. And
Is
we
it
need to,
compassion? Is it compassion?
no, it's not, no.
It's knowledge.
It's knowledge based, yeah. But the term discernment, that's the term. Thank you.
How come I don't see that? I wanna like capitalize on that.
Okay, you wanna underline that and read it to David every half.
Yes, where is that? I
Yeah,
don't see it.
it should be on the third page.
On the third page.
Yeah, on the bottom, it says page 3 of 4.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's on page 3.
Second, yeah, it's the second one on page 3. I want to do one more for today.
I don't see it though. Page 3?
I think you're holding, you got
Page-
page 3.
It's page 5.
Oh, it's page 5. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm looking at my own. You know what? I'm looking at my own.
Oh, I
Hey,
got
but
it.
did we do the Re'eh Lamadti Etchem Chukim Mishpatim?
Wait, let's get to it in a, yeah, we have to, we'll get to it. Do we have slides before? Which one? We have till
What time?
12. Okay, good. Let's do this one and then we'll do that one. Ani bina li givura. What does that mean? Ani bina li givura. Shlomo Amelech is bringing it in Mishlei. It's fantastic.
I like it, but,
It's a beauty.
like in my discernment, I'm strong. It's my strength.
Okay, what does givura mean? We're going to learn the term and more in depth. What does givura mean?
Height.
Givura means restraint.
Strength. Oh,
Gevurah
restraint.
is strength, but what type of strength is it?
That's interesting. It connects to discernment a little bit.
Of course it does.
Right.
Great. Ani bina, because I have the discernment. Li givura, I have the restraint because I see the subtle things. I see what's nolad. I see what's coming. I see where my leaning is taking me. So if a person can discern the subtle things that are going on, that person will have givura, restraint. By the way, one of the greatest things a person can have is that. One of the most simcha enabling things a person can have is restraint. That because when a person puts his head down, so to speak, sometimes that's what brings him the happiness. When I put my head down, right? When I'm restrained from X, that's what does it.
But that goes back to not being in that emotional state all the time. 'Cause when
Really?
Yes.
Very good. That's great.
I just connected it.
Beautiful.
So
Excellent.
you
Good.
need to have restraint to not have emotion, to not
I'm
be
saying,
emotional.
Yeah.
he's saying let, from the other day, let your intellect override your emotions. But that's how you could have the clarity to be
That's right.
discerning.
That's
about
right.
things.
Exactly. When the intellect overrides the
Right, right, right,
emotion.
right.
Excellent. Let's jump up to that. Yeah. To that other one. Yeah. Somebody. Okay.
Reminds me of that-
ועד אמרתי אתכם חוקים ומשפטים ושמעתם ועשיתם כי היא חוכמתכם ובינתכם בין הגויים. It's really a beautiful pasuk. Nice. We'll end with this. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, actually Moshe Rabbeinu saying that he taught the Jewish people chukim umishpatim. We're going to talk about the difference between chok and mishpat. I don't want to go into it now. So leave it. We'll come back to ushmatam and you will keep them. Vasitem, and you will actively engage in them. Ki hi chochmatchem ubinatchem ben hagoyim. It's really a beautiful, beautiful piece. What is he saying here? What is Moshe Rabbeinu? What yields, what enables, what grows chokhmah and binah?
All the different things that we're doing that's different than the goyim.
Including, great,
Shvatim, all the customs that we're gonna have.
the chukim,
Even in Shvatim.
the mitzvot themselves are handles, are tools to get smarter.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it's gonna be different than the goyim. That's our
Yeah.
difference,
So the chukim and mishpatim
making us smarter.
are the things that doing them, we're talking here exclusive of learning about them, just doing them, the engaging of them brings about chokhmah and binah. So, of course, the learning about them is going to bring chokhmah and binah, but engaging them brings
Yeah,
chokhmah
but
and
doing
binah.
it makes us pay attention.
it-
to- Well, that's
Right,
great.
doing it makes pay attention to the small details. How it's done
Right.
makes the person more chacham. The subtleties of, is this right? Can it be a little more right? Can it be done a little bit better this way? Is the binah side. Great,
Is that making us smarter or just making us different?
making us smarter. Making us smarter.
It's bringing it to the forefront of our everydays.
It's bringing the
know,
forefront
like
of every day.
we're
It's
in it
all
all the time.
about, it's all, when we say, and I'm sorry to use the cliche terminology, but it's all about learning. It is. It really is. It really is.
Right,
When we say engage with,
doesn't really make sense. It doesn't have any purpose but to just help you think about it and do it and.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Like
What,
it's training us, it's training our mind to pay attention to the nuances and to this.
the action is
the
training the
action
mind.
trains
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Excellent. If the action is done thoughtfully with kavanah,
but it is, but all the details of all around the thought, like I always go back to food, but thinking about how to prepare dinner in the kitchen, it focuses us on much more than what we're really doing.
That's right.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right. That's right. So that's why all these elements are so valuable in terms of the learning and stuff. Great.
It's more the action though. It's more the action.
No, it's not more the action, but the action also creates knowledge. The
I mean,
action,
you can't just sit home and study all Torah and Mishpatim and everything.
supposed to
and
be
not do
doing-
anything about it.
good, you're supposed to be doing both. That's right. Good, yes. You're supposed to be doing all of the above, right? Acting, learning, doing, learning and so on.
It's the Na'aseh v'Nishma. When we do them, then we end up learning and understanding more about them. So that's the Binah and the Chokhmah come after the Ma'asim.
Super. Beautiful. Any other thoughts?
I think it's about practicing it.
It's about practicing, that's right. But practicing, Ellen, to your point, thoughtfully, with it, with a real strong level of focus and intent. Like sometimes when and we need to do this also in the context of this, even though again it's not direct, is tefillah. Sometimes I know it happens to me. I don't know if it happens to any of you, but sometimes I will finish my Amidah, and it's almost as if I didn't do anything. I just like it just went, and I'll pause. And I'll say, "Oh man, I really missed the opportunity." So that's to your point, Sarah, Ellen. To your point, to do it thoughtfully, intentfully. That's really what we want. Mindfully might be the better term.
I think also part of all of this is changing a lot, constantly changing and learning,
Yeah.
like stepping ahead of yourself and changing, trying to get everything more perfect and different and
Growing. But the nice news is, if you're growing this way, you're having a great time while you're doing it.
All comes back to that.
All comes back. Guys, thank you.
no, it's true.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
So much.
One question
Yeah.
about the worksheet. Is it possible to put like phonetic under the Hebrew?
Yes, we'll do that as well. Yes,
Monday, we're on.
it's up to you guys. Is it hard because of the holiday or we're okay? Should be okay. Okay, so yes, we're on Monday for the 2 classes.
It's okay with you.
Huh?
Saying you're available.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, great. Yes, we'll put phonetics on as well.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Is
Great.
there homework?
Thank you.
Is there homework?
I will send out the homework.
Okay, fine.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Okay,
much.
thanks so much.